Here again with another Shameless Season 6 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am every watch you're watching Shameless, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that happens to be the case and you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And for those of you that are wondering, this is my second time watching this show. For the most part, the show is really good. And then towards the end, there's a big dip in quality. I don't remember when exactly that happens, but I know the last two seasons were, in my opinion, almost god-awful. So right now we're on the relatively good stuff with some great stuff still happening. So with that in mind, this will be Shameless Season 6, Episode 2. The title of this episode is called #Abortion Rules. And this will be my review, reaction, recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start off with Fiona in bed with Sean in the morning, and she tells him that Debbie's got to get an abortion. And Sean, he just wants to bang, since he only has 12 minutes before his meeting. And then he puts like his hand over her mouth and says, breathe through this and think of me and do you feel me inside of you? And some interesting stuff. Doesn't take that long. And he finishes and has to blue ball over to his meeting before work. Carl is checking out some chocolate on the laptop. V and Kev have 30 minutes to fool around while Venus and Serena nap. The two Lisas have called animal control on their neighbor Giannis, played by Will Sasso, and taking his babies away. That's what they did. And Kev's furious and annoyed. He tells the two Lisas they were doing just fine in this neighborhood before you two moved in. Fiona tells Ian she needs his help convincing Debbie to get an abortion. Fiona tells Frank to sleep in his room, and she's sick of hearing about his dead girlfriend. Wow. Frank is just distraught over Bianca's death. Fiona tells Debbie she made an abortion appointment for her, and Debbie tells Fiona she's not killing her baby. So Fiona is pro-choice from the sounds of things, and Debbie is pro-life. So interesting. I don't know if that's 100% accurate, but by the sounds of things, that is. Helene rides Lip while Theo is in the shower singing. That's just a weird relationship. This guy watches his wife sometimes mess around with Lip, and he's okay with it. They haven't said why he's okay with it yet. I don't think they have. Carl gets $100 from the Asian dry cleaner. At Patsy's, Melinda gives Fiona some shit due to her being the assistant manager. Like, oh, you're the assistant manager now, so you get paid to do this, this, and this. And it's really annoying Fiona. And Sean tells everyone Fiona is doing the schedule now. So that's more on her plate. Theo tells Lip, the only reason you have sex with my wife is because I allow it. But why do you allow it? That's my question. Svetlana is charging $12 for people to smoke up at the Alibi. So Svetlana is slowly but surely becoming a really smart businesswoman and good bartender that people love to hate. Someone tells Frank to burn all of Bianca's stuff. Carl and the big scary man, Nick, stole a coffee machine for the Alibi, Svetlana says. Carl pays off an employee of the school to take his bag into the school. I'm guessing it's weapons as the metal detector went off, but this person has like a fake leg, a steel rod leg, and that's why it went off. So there's no taking that off and walking through it again. So and then Sean is leaving Fiona to go to his meeting in the middle of a rush, but she's the assistant manager, so she can handle it. Lip talks to Ewing's and wants to borrow his car. Fiona keeps texting Debbie, #abortion rules. Kev has put bike hooks up at the Alibi. The Alibi was actually voted the best, shittiest bar. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. The nurse at the hospital mentions to Frank that Bianca told her that Frank made her pay for everything, but it made her happy. Frank goes to kiss her, and he does, and then he said that Bianca told him to do that. She didn't obviously feel as much with that. She didn't get mad or freak out or anything, but she leaves. It was nice to meet you, Frank. Carl is selling guns. That's, of course, what was in the bag. That was pretty much what I figured. He sells a Glock to a kid that just wanted to be safe in case there's a school shooting there. Fiona tells V she wants to go behind Debbie's back to get her to have an abortion. Carl introduces himself to a student. My angel, he calls me her. I think I missed something there, but anyway. Frank wears Bianca's hospital thing around the hospital. Fiona sent Lip to try to talk to Debbie into getting rid of her baby. Debbie turns down the ride because Lip came to school to pick her up because he had Ewing's car, and calls Derek, and now Derek's number is disconnected. Fiona's made a schedule to accommodate everybody's requests. Fiona gives Ian a hard time, and he quits. Fiona goes into Sean's office, and he's actually happy Ian's quit because he doesn't really like Ian. He's late all the time, and she doesn't like all this. And then Sean tells Fiona he shot up. Otis's locker, the former assistant manager, had a bag of China White in it, and he didn't tell her because she had a lot on her mind. She had a lot on her plate, dealing with all the stuff that's going on. And she asks if he's going to do it again. He says he doesn't know. Fiona says she fell in love with a heroin addict, and Sean says he would understand if she didn't want to be with him anymore. And now Sean's got to leave as they're there to drug test Fiona, and he, of course, can't risk getting drug tests. And now we have karaoke at the Alibi. Tommy's singing karaoke. Cheers to the shittiest bar on the South Side. Kermit sings everybody. Derek was the one that wanted to move to Florida as he's wanted to be a pilot since he was a kid. And Debbie leaves her flower baby by accident on the train. Frank's calling himself the cancer concierge as he's hooked up with someone about to be in hospice, and he wants to have sex on the train tracks to remind him of Bianca, but not remind him of Bianca. He wants to forget her, and she says she hasn't really been touched in 15 years. And Frank says Hillary, or she has to do some crack. That's her name, Hillary. And then Hillary passes out. In fact, Hillary, I believe, dies from this. Now, we don't know for sure because I haven't seen the next episode since 2020. But, yeah, I believe she's dead. And Frank just like, oh, shit, and he walks off. And then the lady giving the drug test mentions to Fiona that she's pregnant. So now we have Debbie and Fiona pregnant. Debbie and Fiona start fighting, and Lip arrives to break it up. Fucking Gallagher's. Kev goes out into Speedo and rode in a robe to cut the throttle off of Giannis's the throttle cable off of Giannis's bike as he woke Kevin V up at night again. And then Sean goes to see Fiona, says he's sorry. I'm so late. Fiona tells Sean to shut off his brain, and then Fiona kind of does what Sean did earlier in the episode. She rides Sean, and in the morning, Giannis is riding the bike again, and V says, I thought you cut the throttle cable. And then Kev's like, he must have cut the brake cable, and Giannis couldn't stop, and he ran into a car. Frank, at the end of the episode, burns all of Bianca's stuff and says, "Be gone, spirit of Bianca," and that's, of course, what ends the episode. So pretty interesting stuff. We have Sean using again, and he he uses, but he goes to a meeting like he knows it's wrong. Frank is still obsessed with Bianca. I think this might be the last we hear of her potentially. Again, I haven't seen. I watched this show at the end of 2020 and into 2021 to start the final episodes of Shameless. So I'm kind of clueless on some of the stuff. I remember some details, but not a lot, especially like these minuscule things that happened in the middle of the show. So I'm going to score the episode an 8.2 out of 10. And my characters of the episode, and this could stir up some arguments. I'm going to go with Fiona and Sean. Some would say Debbie, Frank, but I'm going to go with Sean and Fiona. And that's what I'm going to say. The whole relationship they're having and the sex that they have, where Sean covers Fiona's mouth at the beginning, and at the end she covers his mouth. So that's what I have to say about the episode. So you've heard everything I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Shameless and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please consider Hulk smashing that like button. It really does help out. Even if I get 5 more likes a video, it does go a long way. Share the video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Shameless. What would you score it? I gave it an 8.2 out of 10. What would you rate it? Who would be your male and female characters of the episode? Or if you just want to pick one person, that's fine. And any other tidbits you have about the episode, click right here for my Shameless series finale rant video, assuming you've seen every single episode of Shameless. While I didn't do reviews of it back in the day, I did do a series finale rant, because I don't like the series finale. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, you're watching the video anyway, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and JDev will return.